my name is Florence Nasanga Msoke, the chairperson, Interfaith Women of Uganda, and the IRCU. There is space for every leader to deliver what he's supposed to deliver. And with the Interfaith Women of Uganda and the IRCU, we have spaces. We have leaders from the national level up to the community. My question is, why is there space for the Religious Council of Women? This goes to all our panelists. Because we are there. We are humble. We are humble servants to the community. Each one of us here belongs to a certain faith. And we have our spaces where we come and talk to them. But you have not used those spaces. In most cases, you invite us or you invite them to listen in. Some of them are shy. But if you find them in their spaces, they can give you real good information from the ground.
So what's the question?
The question is, why is the space for the Religious Council of Uganda?
You want the space from the panelists or to everybody? The panelists, okay.
The panelists.
All right, let's see.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The person of Mpigi district. I'm going to be very brief. I'm leaving some of the questions, but straight to the Ministry of Finance and Bank of Uganda. Doing it from yesterday's discussion, localizing the SDGs, we as local government, we could ask, because we see we do develop our local development plans that feed into the national. But we are so squeezed that we do not have even an allowance of borrowing so that we could effect some of these development plans and strategies. To the Ministry of Finance, could you give allowance to local government? Is it possible to give allowance to local government to engage in borrowing to finance the localization of SDGs to the locals? I think it would help, because...
Where would you be borrowing from?
We would be borrowing from the agencies and also...
Which agencies?
And the municipal bonds, because municipal bonds, there are so many strategies of raising funds to facilitate the budgets and plans of local governments. But it is all squeezed and capped up from the center. So we do ask for that allowance, and if possible, what is limiting us to engage with financial supports and also establishing those muscles as local governments?
Is that how can this conversation reach the people we are talking about when it is in English and coded language? The second question is about the living wage. How come there is a disparity between the salaries and wages that are paid to people in this country? Even in the same department, take teachers who are teaching sciences and arts, there is such a disparity. How come there is such an equal salary structures? And what has government also planned to do to address this peanut butter salary scales to those who are doing so much, and in some cases paying so much to those who are doing so little?
Can we clap for my sister Elsie for sharing with us in depth what she has been able to pick here, but of course based on what she already knows. Can we give her another round? Can we also thank Dr. Raymond Gilpin for sharing with us, but also most importantly, letting us as Africans, as African countries, to know what we've been contributing to the development of the lenders at our own expense, yet doing it unknowingly. Can we clap for him? It's a lot of money. The figure he mentioned is big, but that also calls for us to have this discussion, especially under African peer review mechanisms, African Union, which is the focal minister is Honorable Amos Rugolobi, who is even here with us. So let me recognize Honorable Judith Nawakoba, the Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development. She has been with us the whole morning. And also recognize Honorable Amos Rugolobi, the Minister of State in Finance in Charge Planning. Welcome, and I recognize everybody. I want to thank you, panelists. Thank you so much. Though in the beginning, I saw the moderator was a bit tough to them, and in their response, you would really see like the lady was intimidating them, but after they caught up and they started unleashing and giving us good information. So once again, let's clap for them. Yes, they said I come to wrap up, but I'm a teacher by profession. I know from 10 o'clock up to 1 o'clock, we've listened. The capacity is beyond us as human beings. So all that I want to say is that whatever we are doing as government, the Agricultural Credit Facility and the Bank of Uganda, the mayor of Lira was able to bring it out. And you said you have held regional meetings, sensitization meetings. They've not been enough. That's the feedback they gave us in the zonal meetings, regional meetings, and here they have re-echoed it here. What you went out to sensitize is not helping us access the intended person. The people who are benefiting are few, yet the problem is big. Can we make the two meet so that we benefit? Because somebody takes a year processing alone under that. But what are you doing as Bank of Uganda to help these people quicken the process by letting them do what they are supposed to do, by letting them know what they are supposed to do? Let me give an example. Under Ministry of Finance, we have the UDB. They were lending only the manufacturers and those in tourism. They now had to look at the ordinary person. How do they help the ordinary person to come up? So if farmers are organized in cooperatives, they lend money now to farmers. They've gone beyond what we knew. If there is a team, either a cooperative or a company, for inclusivity for the youth and the women, even if it's a company, 40% of the shares owned by women, 40% owned by youth, they take on those projects. To the extent that if you are working in an area, you are working from a certain space, but you don't own that space legally, say you don't have a land title, they even help you process that land title so that you feel more comfortable in your business. Confidence building. They've gone that mile. Can we also do that for the rest of the programs we have as government to bring the ordinary person on board? We should not, like we have said it here in this session, too much English, too much English. Can we simplify the things for the ordinary person? Because the intentions of these programs are to uplift these people. Minister of Finance, Minister of Trade, the minister is here. They've asked a question here. You've answered and given no answer. Let's admit we have a challenge. When it comes to the farmer and the middleman, we need to go and review our policy. Because the middleman is getting a lot cheating the farmer. But how do we defend the farmer? Now that we're in parish development model, even if it meant even making amendments to certain laws, readjusting or informing or forming new policies, let's do it. But we need to defend the farmer. And the beauty of it is that we have the technical people and the political people here in charge. Please, the quicker, the better. Because that's when we'll also be able to benefit from the parish development model. So when we talk about the issue of the climate change and the credit issues, this we can't exhaust here. I think what we do, my colleagues, fellow ministers who are here, and those from, we also have people from the Ministry of Water here, Ministry of Water and Environment. I think let's have this discussion. Let's have in-depth discussion, call on the stakeholders, and then we see how we can tap on in this. Yes, we are destroying our forests at 12%, but we also have a weakness as government. We've not factored in the forests that have been planted by people. Ugandans have planted forests, but we only have data to do with the natural forests from our grandparents, but we have not really captured the efforts we are putting in as individuals or as institutions at the different levels. So we also need to get that data because it's also important. When it comes to issues, the youth who was here, Musinguzi, I want to say this because you are still in a training session, still training age. When you are given a platform like this one, come and articulate your 4 issues on behalf of the youth so that the different stakeholders pick them up. Meeting the president is one, but a small portion of what we require to do. So, whatever you discuss with the president has to be implemented by the same ministries who are here, and agencies and partners who can come up and support us where they can and where we need support. So, in my own view, we may have to request you to sit with your team, and we will give you 3 minutes this afternoon to articulate these issues. You've not used the time properly. And this is a platform that we cannot easily get, to have all these stakeholders here. Tell us, what is it? The different programs, where is the problem? If it's the parish development model, you gave us the 30%, it's not enough, we need more. We carry it back to cabinet. If it is to do with the UDB, yes, we are talking of the 40% for companies and cooperatives, where the majority, the youth take the 40%. Tell us that yes, yes, it is there, but this information has not trickled down to the people, and we don't have resources to go down to the people. Ministry of Finance will facilitate you to go and pass over this information to the youth. UNDP will gladly come in to help on that. Now, can you pick out what you require as youth, where we have shortages in our existing programs, and what you think can be done that is not within our programs or projects yet, so that you help us accelerate the implementation of SDGs. When we talk of sustainability, you carry the biggest component, space, and that's why we gave you this. So please maximize, use the break when we come back for after lunch, and after the next session, you'll be given 3 minutes so that you come and articulate these issues. And even if it's not written, after here you can write it. Because you should also establish it in the media for people to know that you are working for them. Now I've become a politician to tell you how you can. So I want to really stop here and say let's go to the next one. But Mr. Enyimu, representing the PSST, when you talk of our absorption is 70% when it comes to externally financed projects, we are doing badly. I would want to challenge you to see that, because when we look at the performance of quite a number of our loans, it's so poor, and they've eaten up the shrinking fiscal space. How do we improve on this shrinking fiscal space when it's about many issues, but most importantly, the poorly performing loans? I want to say, allow us to take a photograph and we go for lunch, because I know very few are still listening to me. Issues that have been brought up by the Interreligious Council, these are issues we can even come and have a discussion in your office, because it requires also detailed answers. So, not that we don't have the answers, but we must go for lunch. The sugar levels are very low. The young ones may not mind, because for them the agility is still on, but for those of us who are in my category, we know what it means. Those people who don't know yet will also know at the time. It's a matter of time. Thank you so much. Can we clap for ourselves? So we now pause for a photograph. I'm lucky that I'm going to smile, but MC, come and take over.